Okay, well, yes, we're sounding. All right, just hold your... Welcome to the Practicing the Presence, and it is my pleasure to introduce our guest artist, who is the winner of San Diego's Best Blues Artist, Whitney Shea. Thank you so much.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, you know what I mean. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good, yes I am. Oh, stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, yes I am. I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good.
Wow, Whitney Shea and Jim Bianchi, that was so beautiful. I haven't seen Jim play in that capacity either. It was great. So welcome to the Wednesday night Going Within gathering. We come together on the Wednesday night to just lift your spirits up and to connect with the power and the presence of God as your life and to tap into the field of infinite possibilities and infinite potentiality. So this evening I'll be talking about loving life. I'm going to invite you to come forward to set an intention this evening and to just enjoy the journey of life. Enjoy every step that we take as we love the life that we live. So I invite you to come forward, set your intention as we practice the presence together.
Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour your love in me. Pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Ooh, oh, wonderful Spirit. Wonderful Spirit.
I think it's one of my favorite songs by Ricky. Thank you so much. Oh, look at the light just came into the room. Hi, Rosie. Our ministerial student, Rose Dale Jones. So this is the time of our service where we practice the presence together and we move into the silence. And I invite you to close your eyes and to go within. And at this moment, I want you to think of something or someone in your life that may need an extra little bit of love or healing or compassion. And bring them into your mind's eye as you breathe into your heart space. I'm going to invite you to breathe in compassion. And as you breathe out, I'm going to invite you to breathe out a golden light emanating from your heart and wrapping your loved one in that light. Just pour that love into your loved one. And just breathe in compassion and breathe out a loving light. And just see your loved one bathing in this gold light of love and wholeness. So I invite you to move into the silence as we practice the presence together.
In the stillness of the moment is where all of life begins. There is nothing outside of this moment. The sacred reveals itself in our still heart. For my heart is the point from which circulates everything that I am. I draw my inspiration, energy, love, and joy from the same power and presence that moves the universe. The beloved Spirit is the giver of life. Its holy presence breathes each one of us into existence. Life is a beautiful dance. As we play off our energies amongst each other. For it is all consciousness. It is all energy. I know the high qualities of love and blessings. They come when we remember the gifts that we bring into this world. And I know Reverend Lori, she is a vessel, a conduit for the spirit of life to shine forth out into the world. And it is love that goes before her and lights her way. And so relax. Open and allow what wants to be revealed. And remember the daily miracles that make up your life, for it is all spirit, the love essence, the highest qualities, and the truth of who we are. And so it is. Good evening. My name is Kay Samuelson. David Kennedy is holding the light for us tonight, and we would love to share prayer with you after the service, so join us in the chapel. The reading is from the Joyous Abundance Journal. Petra Wills and Dr. Christian wrote the book. Glasses. Loving Life is the title. Stop focusing on what brings you down. For years, I used drugs and alcohol to avoid feeling my feelings. But then after getting sober, I spent years skirting around depression. One day, I realized that I spent an amazing amount of time hashing over everything that wasn't working in my life. I was constantly having conversations in my head with people who weren't even in the room, trying to get them to behave and to be different. My mind was filled with criticism and judgment. Then I had a child. Watching this precious being learn about life, look at the flowers, and gaze at the stars reminded me of the beauty of life. Every time he asked me to play or simply just sit and snuggle on the couch, I moved into a timeless state of wonder and joy that was truly a blessing. The more time I spent loving being with him, the more I began to enjoy other parts of my life as well. Because I was too busy dreaming up fun things for us to do, I didn't have the time to be in that constant state of depression and judgment. My son taught me how to love my life in a whole new way, and I discovered that life started to love me back in a whole new way. Quote is, I have found that if you love life, life will love you back. Spiritual contemplation. Are you loving your life? Notice the places of beauty, the people of kindness, and the opportunities for self-expression in your life. Seek out the pleasant moments and the things that bring you joy. Count the ways you are growing and all the gifts that you are giving. Affirmation. I love my life, and my life is filled with joy, beauty, and laughter and love. I focus on all the good in my life, and I see abundant and blessed. And blessed I truly am. And so it is. Let us welcome Reverend Lori.
Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Thank you very much, Whitney. Yeah, thank you. Beautiful prayer, and I love the reading. It was just beautiful about loving life. So what we know about life is there's love and there's law. Love is self-giving of itself, and law always points the way. And we know that you are a unique, divine, individualized expression of God. And when you give your talents and you give your gifts to the world, you are in alignment with who you are, and you love your life. It's almost like Whitney singing or Jim playing piano. In this moment right here, they're giving their gifts, and they're loving life as it is. So Abraham Hicks, anyone doing the sacred circles, the Abraham Hicks here? Yes, you're teaching. I'm actually an Abraham Hicks fan myself, and what Abraham Hicks says is find something that makes you happy and fixate it on it. And that is the answer to all things. It's the answer to getting everything that you want in life. When you find something that brings you so much joy and just continue to move towards it and move in it, it's almost like the mother having the baby. She was always finding wonderful things to do with her baby, and so the more joy that she experienced in her life, the more joyful there was to live life. And Abraham Hicks is a wonderful teaching. They have all kinds of tools to really lift our vibration and to live life moment by moment and to deliberately co-create life. And so we know that we are vibrational beings. That is the greater part of who we are. In the physical side of life, it is the law of gravity that corresponds to us. And on the unseen side of life, the vibrational side of life, it is the law of attraction. So where we are right here and right now, how we feel in this moment right here and right now determines our future of what's going to happen to us. And so this is the vibration, the law of attraction moving through us, by us, and as us. But what I know is that life is not about getting anything. You know, it's not about getting the pile of money or getting the real estate or getting the degrees or getting anything. Life is about enjoying the journey. So to have a successful life, according to Abraham Hicks, I'm going to agree with them, is to really, every single moment of your life that you enjoy the moment. I know for myself, at one time, I used to be the type of person that I was fixated on the end result, you know, when I get my degree, when I get that piece of property, when. And so during that time, I would suffer and I would struggle, and suffering is not God ordained. You know, we are here right now to live our life in love, and it's only through conscious creation, it's only through deliberate intentions that we know exactly where we're at in the moment of our life and how to shift that. And what I love about Abraham Hicks is that they teach us how to shift our point of attraction. The great thing about being a vibrational being is that it's comforting and it's exhilarating. It's comforting because when you recognize that you attract everything into your experience, you realize that there's nothing that you have to fear, because everything that happens to you is because of what is in your consciousness. And what's exhilarating about it, once we become conscious creators and deliberate creators, that there's nothing that we can't be, do, or have or control in our life. Now, the journey that we are taking in our life it's two journeys. The first journey is the action journey, and the second journey is the emotional journey. So the action journey is the physical essence of you wake up in the morning and you go to work. From work, you go to an event. From the event, you come back home. This is the action of your time, place, reality right here on planet Earth. And then the emotional journey is how you set the tone as you walk your pace through life. What are you feeling in that moment? And whatever you're feeling in that present moment is forming your future, is determining exactly what will be happening to you in the future. So if you feel like something happens and someone disrespects you, and in that moment you react to the condition of someone disrespecting you, and it makes you upset and it makes you angry, and because you're upset and you're angry, what you don't realize, and maybe if you are a deliberate creator, you do realize that you are producing more opportunities in life for people to disrespect you, for people to make you upset, and for people to make you angry. You see, one thing that I love about Abraham Hicks is that they're very clear about all of life is contrast. No matter what, this is the essence of life. Because when you know what you find out what you don't want, then you know what you do want. So if something happens to you and you're like, oh my God, I don't want that. Instead of focusing on the conditions and reacting to what is going on in the moment, when you're a deliberate creator, when you are a co-creator with life, you're recognizing that you don't focus on the conditions. We focus on what it is that we're seeking. So for every subject, there's two subjects, what you want and what you don't want. And we move towards what we want, then we become conscious co-creators. This is when we live and love our life because we are raising our vibration to what it is that we want to experience in life. Now, we have an internal GPS system within us, just like in your car. So you put in your GPS where you want to go. So now you have a destination. And now you know how Siri is. She can be a little bossy. And as you're driving and you decide to get a coffee, Siri will say, proceed to the route, proceed to the route. And you're like, shut up, proceed to the route, proceed. And if you don't proceed to the route, she's going to irritate you, right? And so when you get off the route, you become irritated. And this is what happens in life. We have a rocket of creation that we want to create in our life. Like we want to have abundance, and our higher self says, yes, let's have abundance, right? And so this is your destination, that you're going to have abundance. And as you walk the destination, when your desire and your belief don't match up, we start to go off the road. All of a sudden you're thinking, well, my parents weren't wealthy, so I'll never be wealthy, and proceed to the route. So this is what happens to us. We're not feeling good because we launched a rocket of desire that we want to create in our life, but we can't get to that desire because we're thinking about how much we can't have that desire. It could be in abundance. It could be maybe even in health. If you want to lose weight, it's all of a sudden, I want to lose weight. Oh, that sounds great. Your higher being, your inner being, wants you to do that too. And you're starting your path on the route, and all of a sudden you go off the route because you're like, well, I've never been skinny, so I'm going to be skinny now. So it's like proceed to the route. So how do you get to that route? That's the whole thing. And how do you hold that high vibration? And this is what I love about Abraham Hicks, is that they teach you these tools. I know you're reading The Law of Attraction, but a couple other really good books by Abraham Hicks is The Deliberate Power of Intention, and my favorite book is Ask and It Is Given. And there's so many tools in the Ask That It Is Given that will move you into a higher vibration and give you the tools that you need to really love life. Now, one of the tools that I use, and matter of fact, I just realized I forgot I had it on my phone. I think 2 years ago I must have introduced it to you, and this is called the focus wheel. And the focus wheel, you use this when there's something in your life that you want and you're not getting. Let's say you have launched a rocket of desire that you want to be abundant, but then you have a belief that doesn't match your desire because you think you can't be abundant because you never had money growing up, your parents never had money, you just haven't figured out how to make money. So now you've gone off the route, okay? And whatever you're feeling right here and right now about not having that money, you don't realize it, but that's the mold of creation that you're creating in your future, right? So we need to get back onto the route and feeling joyful in the moment, looking past the conditions, right? And this is what we do in religious science when we pray. We look past any story, we look past any conditions, and we pray the spiritual truth. So what Abraham Hicks teaches us is really to pray without ceasing. In this focus wheel, this is just the iPhone version. I have it right here on my iPhone, and you can't see it, but the wheel actually turns, all right? And so you create what you want. Let's say if you want abundance, okay? And then you get to type in your own affirmations. So I have 12 spokes here, and repeat after me. I love feeling free. I love living an abundant lifestyle. I love seeing abundance everywhere I go. I love tapping into unlimited possibilities. I am loving abundance. I am sharing abundance. I love living from the overflow. I love swimming in the field of abundance. I love knowing that I'm always abundant. I love knowing I am abundant in every area of my life. I love knowing my bank account is always overflowing. And I live, move, and have my being in the field of abundance. How does it feel? It feels great, right? So you take this focus wheel, like on your phone, anywhere you go, and you just go through it in your head, whatever you're doing, and by the time you're done, you've lifted your vibration. It's a beautiful process. You can get it as an app. It's called the Focus Wheel by Abraham Hicks. And I also have the paper version for you out in the hallway there. So this is one of those beautiful tools that she gives you in order to lift your vibration to a higher space, in order to see past the conditions without reacting to what is happening right here and right now. This is the trick of life. Can we lift ourselves up past what is now and focus on what it is that we want? It's really tricky business. So last week I was in Seattle. I was at the ongoing ministerial conference, and oh my God, I had such an amazing time. I love the hotel so much I stayed for a couple more nights. And then on Sunday I wanted to go to the CSL church in Seattle. So the hotel was like a couple minutes away from the airport, not far at all. I had to take the shuttle to the airport, and then I needed to get a shuttle to the rent-a-car. Not a big deal. So I decided, why should I lug my luggage around when I'm so close? I'll just go get my car, come back, get in the car, and go to the CSL. So I got onto the bus. I got to the airport. I got on the other bus. And when I was there, I realized that I had this app on my phone. So I decided just to create, I'm not going to take you through this, I decided to create another focus wheel called Loving Life. You know, I love my spiritual life. I love my life now. I love what I'm creating. I love what I'm going to create. So here I am. I'm lifting my vibration up, okay? And so I get on the bus. I'm almost at the car rental place. I get to the car rental place. I get off the bus. I go in there, and there's no one there. I'm like, oh, my God, my life is fabulous, okay? I'm going to make church. So I get up to the counter, and I give them my reservation. He said, well, can we see your ID and your credit card? And I go into my purse, and I'm like, oh, my God. I don't have my credit card. I don't have my ID. It's back at the hotel in my computer bag. Meditation is going to start at a half hour, and I just messed up. Of course, I want to lay on the floor and cry and scream and kick my legs like a little child, but I'm lifted. My vibration has been lifted because I just did the focus wheel, and I'm feeling really, really good. So I thought, okay, you know what, Lori? This is your moment to demonstrate. This is your moment to stay up and see what happens. And you can make 9 o'clock church, possibly. I don't know. You have an hour to get all the way back, get your luggage, get all the way. I don't know. So I'm not going to worry about it. Just stay lifted. So I got on the bus. I looked at my little focus wheel, and I got on the thing back to the hotel. I told the guy my problem. He said, well, I have to leave in 2 minutes. So because these people have to get a flight. So I go get my luggage. I come back. They left. But he came to me and he said, hurry, we have a car for you. We're going to drive you directly to the rent-a-car. And I was like, oh, my God. So I went there, and there was no line. I got my car, and I was there for 9 o'clock service. And I was like, wow, I did it. I demonstrated it. And it was a tough thing because I was thinking, this is not going to work for 1 second. And I thought, if I just keep my vibration high, right, maybe everything will just work out. And so it's almost like we have to play a game in life. You know what I mean? And that's why this is a good app. You know, when you're in a situation and it doesn't feel good, play the game. It's like, okay, life, we're on. Let's go. You know, I'm going to keep my vibration high. I'm going to keep my focus, and you just, give me what I need. So, so the tricky thing is that when we have a rocket of desire that's going off, like I want to be wealthy and and then all of a sudden when your desire and your belief don't match up is when we get skirted, or when a condition happens in life that kind of throws us for a loop is when we kind of fall off the side there. But we have to think of techniques how to deal with it, and we can one is a general technique that Abraham gives us. Things are always working out for me. In that moment, if things are not working out, you could just go general, because general is better than making the quantum leap, which is impossible sometimes to make that quantum leap, or to stay in, it's never going to work, the whole Eeyore thing. And another thing that's good to do when things are not going the way you want them to go, and you're trying to raise your vibration, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you, right? Everything will work if you just unplug. So if something just throws you for a loop, if someone's not respecting you and it's kind of like a trigger of yours, go get happy. Go pet the dog, pet the kitty, go to the beach, do something that brings you joy. Then come back and deal with the tone that you're setting. And then do like a focus wheel on, everyone I meet is loving good people. I have respectful conversations. I have nonviolence conversations all the time. I have emotional intelligence. I mean, whatever, what triggers you, what makes you feel good, to keep yourself up in order to manifest whatever it is that you're looking for in your life. And it's not even manifesting, it's about loving life, right? It's about enjoying the journey. It's about every single moment. You don't have to struggle. That's old hat. That was yesterday. Ernest Holmes says that struggling is not God ordained. Suffering is not God ordained. When you understand the law, but the law is the law. That's one thing that we have to remember. The law, it is done unto you as you believe. So when we can move past that and give a vibration for all the good that we're seeking, then that's what we experience in our life. So while I was at the ministerial gathering, we had different experientials, and I kind of had an experiential that opened me up to maybe some of the suffering that I was allowing in my life. And I thought, wow, you know what? We really let ourselves suffer, and we don't have to. I mean, our ancestors suffer. Have you ever thought you had to work hard for your money, or you have to work hard to get something? I mean, that is such a false belief. We don't have to do any of that. We can just, give it up and just go with the flow of life and have a rocket of desire and just love it as you move towards it and let all the good come into your life. So there was a story about in the 1400 BC, at the Apollo, there's a place called the Delphi, and there was a Delphi of the Oracle, and she was a high priestess that was a medium. And in that time, families would save all their money up, and they would have the healthiest person in the family take a pilgrimage to the Delphi, which was in Greece. And when they got there, they had to buy something, and they had to give that up. They would never see it again as an offering. And then when they went in, the oracle would give them a message. And they would take the pilgrimage back home, and as they took the pilgrimage back home, they had an awakening, right? And this awakening was for the whole family. They brought a message back for the whole family. So we mimicked this during our ministerial gathering. It was really fun. So we had to put something on a piece of paper that we had to give up, like an old story that we carry. And I thought, my ego got crazy for a moment, like, I don't have a story. So as we meditated, I had a story, and then we meditated more, I had another one. I had about 10 stories on my piece of paper, okay, by the time I was done. And so one at a time, we went through this door, and someone anointed us with lavender and blessed us on our journey. And then one at a time, I met the person that was at the door of the oracle, the Delphi, and I had to give them my piece of paper, and he said, "Are you ready to give this up? Are you ready to no longer have this in your vibration? Totally 100% give it up." And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to give it up. I felt like there was a little, I don't know, but I wanted to give it up, okay? So I gave it up, yeah. And then I went to the oracle, and she gave me a beautiful message. And I walked all the way back, and we were done. We all gathered in a circle, and they wanted to know if anyone had like any aha moments. And so when I had the opportunity to speak, I had shared that I was kind of grieving giving up my story. I thought, wow. Like, I was like, did I really want to give that story up? Isn't that a part of who I am? But why would I suffer? Because whatever you think about, or maybe like, my story of betrayal is so good, why would I want to give that up? But if I keep that story of betrayal in my vibration, do you know what I'm doing? I am creating another story of betrayal for the future. If I keep that story of lies in my vibration, I'm creating another stories of lies. It was such a good book of lies, betrayal, and deceit, and I had to give it up. And I thought, well, why would I want to suffer? Why would I want to keep that? And it made me kind of wake up to maybe there's a part of us that does want to suffer, you know. Abraham, she's so funny. She gives a story about how she's guiding people to the river. And she says, okay, just put your canoe in the river. And the person puts their canoe in the river, and they start paddling upstream. And they're struggling, and they're suffering. And she's like, why don't you just take the canoe and go downstream and go with the flow of life? And the person says, well, what do you mean? No one else is going down. Everyone is going upstream. Everybody is struggling. It would be weird if I went downstream. You know, it's like, I can't do that if everyone else is not doing that. And she said, you know, you guys dig a deep hole, right? And you get into that hole, and then you crawl out of it, and it's difficult, and you're suffering, and you're slaving away, and you get out of the hole, and everyone goes, yay, right? It's like, why is it that you do that? Why don't you just turn the boat around and let go of the oars and flow through life and allow all the good to come to you when you make that rocket, you know, that desire that you want. Just let it flow. We don't have to suffer. So putting it all together, I thought, you know, this is really an interesting concept that I feel like I have to suffer. I think it's a group consciousness, don't you? Maybe our ancestors suffer, so we have to suffer too. But I think if we realize that that doesn't have to be our experience. So another technique that I want to share with you of Abraham Hicks that I love is the rampage of appreciation. So, you know, when you're in that moment where you feel like you're suffering and you want to get out of it and you just don't know how to get out of it, she says to find something that's kind of pleasing to you, that's very beautiful and welcoming and useful, and just talk to yourself about what that is. Like this candle table is really pretty, isn't it? And what I love about the candle table is that each candle represents each one of you here and that intention that you set for this evening and how it just lights up the room. And it's really quite pretty. And I wouldn't want to do the service without the candle table. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. And then she said, after you get something that feels really good, go to something else. And, you know, this is a beautiful piano. And I love it when Jim plays the piano. You know, I love when Jim plays the music. It just fills the room in the beginning of the service. And then when he plays behind Whitney, how beautiful it is. And I love it when he plays behind me when I'm praying. It just makes me feel so good. So this is called the rampage of appreciation, when you continue to look at things and give appreciation for them. And what it does is it uplifts your vibration. So in that moment when you're uplifted in your vibration, you can go back to that moment where that guy was not respecting you. And you can start creating, you know, I always have respectable relationships. It's amazing all the wonderful people I meet. Everyone I meet, I like. You know, then you move into that. So you can move it from one into another situation. So one last thing, I'll leave you with a story that I'm excited to share the story tonight, and it's about somebody who I really love, and it's my mother. I have a great relationship with her, and I talk with her every day, and she has such a natural stance about her. She's always loving life. She's such a great example. Every day I talk to her, she's like, oh, I love my husband. Oh, I love my fairy garden. Oh, I love my home. Oh, I love my house. And it's so sweet. And so she has this high vibration. And I know that recently she's been asking something big of the universe. She's had a lot of people in her life, friends and family, who've been sick. And her sister died maybe it was 2 years ago, I'm not quite sure, of cancer. And she tried to heal her sister. She tried to get her to do naturopathic and to eat better and to, you know, not quit smoking. And her sister couldn't listen to her. But there's other people in her life that are sick, and she has a really big heart, and she feels very compassionate. So she had a rocket of desire to find something to heal the people in her life. And my younger sister had a liver that was enlarged. And my mother listens to a radio show called Healthy Habits every single day. And the owner of this herb that supposedly heals inflammation was on. And, I forgot to share this one with you. The way to avoid repeating unwanted situations is to talk about wanted situations. Talk about what you do want and discontinue dialogue about any unwanted experience and situations. So anyways, she had this rocket desire to heal people in her life. And my sister had an inflamed liver. And there was the owner of this herb called Montana Hue Tips. And she got this for my sister, and her liver went back down to a normal size within a couple weeks. And then she had a rocket desire to help my other sister's dog, who was 13, who had these huge tumors all over its body. And she told her about what happened to my younger sister and gave this Montana Hue Tips to the dog, and all the tumors had gone away. And then she had a friend, Rita, who had lymphoma, cancer, and she gave the Montana Hue Tips to her, and she no longer has lymphoma cancer. And she has a sister-in-law, my Aunt Pat, who has 3 types of cancer, and they basically told her that she had to go home and die, or she could continue with chemotherapy and have just an extended life, and they just took her off extended life. And this Montana Hue Tips has actually eased the pain of the chemotherapy in her life. And then she had a friend, Jeannie, who has arthritis in her hands, and she gave her this Montana Hue Tips, and it took the inflammation out of her hands. And Debbie, who has inflammation in her back, and she wanted to go on the radio and tell the owner of this what happened, and she just happened to leave work early. She owns a tailor shop, and the man was on the radio, and she pulled over to the side, and she called in, and she was able to give her testimony. And I don't think she realized all the people that she had healed, but it was her rocket of desire. She didn't struggle or strive or worry. She just allowed the information to come to her and shared it with everyone else. So we are here to, deliberately create our life. And this activity has filled her up with so much joy, to do so much good work in the world. And this is what we are here to do, to give our joy, to give our love, and to deliberately create our life. As you live the life you love, you will love the life that you live. Thank you. Let's pray. How's that? I invite everyone to close their eyes and go within, as I recognize that power and that presence of God that is right here and right now in this room. I know that there was a beautiful intention made by each and every individual at the beginning of this gathering. An intention to love life, to live it fully, to enjoy life, to give their gifts and talents out into the world. So I know each person here, there is something within you that's expanding and growing. There's a message today that you're taking home with you to live a life that you love and to love a life that you live. Always keeping track of your vibration and how you're feeling and what you're giving out into the world. Just understanding that there is a law of attraction, and it is always working whether we believe in it or not. And for each and every individual here, I know there's always love, there's always grace, and there's always good expanding and growing, and so it is.
Never be afraid to love. Never be afraid to just be. Cast away the chains of doubt. Have the courage to be free. Don't hide your eyes with others' lies. Yes, see only what you want to see. Duplicate this simple truth. Yes, have the courage to be free. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. You can fly. afraid to love. Yeah, never be afraid to just be. You better cast away the chains of doubt. Have the courage to be free. Don't cloud your eyes with others' lies. See only what you want to see. Yes, duplicate this simple truth and have the courage to be free. Open your eyes, you can fly. Open your eyes, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly. Proceed to that route. That's right. You better love the life that you've got, because you've only got one. You better open your eyes. You can fly. Open your eyes. You can fly. You can fly. Yes, you can, Seaside. You can fly. You can fly. You can fly. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Ah, what a perfect song.
Beautiful. So now is the time of our service where we give back to our spiritual community. I invite our ushers to come forward. Practitioner Ginny and Dennis Mill, who has been of service here for over 20 years. We appreciate you and we love you. So I invite you to take your gift and place it over your heart and to close your eyes and go within. And I'm just so grateful for this generous spiritual community as it expands and grows, giving their gifts of love and joy, knowing that everything is given back and multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And I would like to do our blessing, our prosperity blessing. No prosperity blessing tonight? All right. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the time where we do our circle of love prayer. If there's someone in your life that may need a prayer, I'm going to invite you to raise your hand, and I will point at you, and you can just speak their word into their name into the room, and we will bring them into the consciousness of love. And I think a couple of weeks ago you were here, and I was talking about my little sisters. I have a little sister who's 28 years old with the Big Brother, Big Sister program, and she's in labor tonight. So her name is Courtney, and I'm going to put her into the circle of love. Anyone else have someone? Bob. Oh, yes, the whole world. That's compassionate. Uncle Bob. Nancy. Rosie? Brea. Yeah. Did you have someone, Sandy? Yeah.
Elisa.
The daughter of Carl and Megan.
All right. Wow, how beautiful. So I invite you to close your eyes and to go within. And just recognizing the beauty and the love that is in this room, the compassionate hearts that wants to see their family and friends perfect, whole, and complete. For I know the circle of love is eternal. There's no beginning and there's no end. It is the essence of all of life. For the circle of love is complete. I cannot depart from its goodness. I cannot depart from its wholeness. The circle of love is complete within my mind, within my heart and my soul, and it is complete within the mind of this room. For I know each and every person that we hold in the light of God is perfect and whole and complete. I know the loving arms of Spirit cradles each and every individual, lifting them up to that level of perfection. For I know there is a pattern of perfection in each and every person. There is love, there is light, there is wholeness, there is grace that is moving through their lives now. As I release my word into the law, knowing that it is done, knowing it is done in the mind of God, it is done in my mind now, and so it is. Thank you. So I would like to thank you, Steve Grant, for sound. Thank you, Tim Griffith, for being so dedicated to the video. And thank you, Gregory, my mother still loves you. David Kennedy for holding light. Thank you so much. Okay, Samuel, it's such a pleasure taking this journey with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim Bianchi. I appreciate your talents and your gifts that you always give here on Wednesday night. And Whitney Shea, thank you. It was beautiful having you here on Wednesday night. I know they're going to have you more often in the future. So I'm not sure if my PowerPoint is working. Is it working? Oh, okay. So we have the Dances of Universal Peace with Jim and Lynn Chow on August 20th. And next week, we're going to have Robin Hackett and Jim Bianchi, right? Yep. Jim, do you want to show everyone your new friend? Okay.
We'll see you later.
Okay. And we have the Deep Sound Meditation, the Divinity Within, on Monday from 6:30 to 8. And you're invited to my ordination. Yay! It's called Eat, Dance, and Pray. It will be a beautiful evening on November 12th. And let's stand and do our universal blessing. Together we say, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be free from strife. May all beings return to love. Peace be with you forevermore. And our closing song, Dave Kennedy.
Let
Your heart fill with peace from the angels who love our world.
Let your hearts fill with peace from the angels who love our world.
peace
Will change the world. Peace will change the world. Peace will change the world. Peace will change the world. Peace in our hearts. Peace in our world. Peace in our hearts. Peace in our world. In our world.
And I love you. Mwah. Please join us in the family room for tea and cookies.
Yeah, and next week, Robin Hackett is from Dallas, Texas. So she's with Petra usually at CSL Dallas. And I was there at their service 2 weeks ago, finally. That was a beautiful